But when you do, is it something you do in a therapeutical way?
Definitely.
Yeah.
For sure.
Does it help you moving on, or does it also prevent you from moving on?
I think it helps me to move on, but I definitely, when I start writing, it's because I'm feeling something so intensely that I don't know how to talk about it yet. And so the first way that I'm able to identify that I'm feeling a certain way is to write stream of consciousness and then read what I wrote and then analyze myself and be able to be honest with myself about what it is I'm feeling. And then I can move on and I have some perspective. But it takes me a lot of time to learn what I am feeling and be able to communicate that.
Did you get reactions from ex-boyfriends?
They don't know it's about them, I don't think. Probably only one person would know, but I don't talk to them.
What song was that?
Which record was that? I mean, a lot of, maybe too many songs were about that, and even current songs that I'm talking about other people and how I'm dealing with it now. It's just the first love of your life totally shapes how you deal with love, and so he will always affect my songs.
And when you, for example, listen to your first and your second record, is it something that you can come to terms with, or is it also sometimes that you can't understand the feelings that you had back then?
I'm really proud of my first two records, and I feel like I've come a long way emotionally from those records. So I can finally say that first record is no longer me, because I was so broken when I wrote that and recorded it. I was heartbroken. But by the time I started working on Epic, I felt much stronger, and that like I was healing, and I was a much more confident person. And I feel like this new record is even more so a progression of my confidence alone.
Talking about the new record, you just said that you moved from Tennessee to New Jersey in your parents' home, but with this third record, you didn't have a home.
Right. Yeah, I spent the last year or two touring mostly, and in between tours working on this record. And between having my band and recording, it didn't make sense to have a permanent place. It's so expensive to live in New York, and I have lots of really nice friends that would let me stay with them, and I would rent an apartment just for a few weeks if I had to, but no place of permanence.
Was there, did you ever have a moment where you really missed that kind of homeless, coziness of something you can only have when you have your own home?
Definitely missed that. I just got my first place in a while this October, and I love being domestic and cooking and just sitting on the couch and reading and knowing things are exactly where I left them when I come back home and things like that. Simple things, but I also I liked staying at new places, and I like sleeping on couches, and I like doing all those things. I think it gets hard when it's really long term, but there's good sides to both things.
But so, where did you, or maybe more places? Do you know specific places where you wrote the songs then? Because you didn't write them at all.
Yeah, like the first song, Warsaw, I actually wrote in Warsaw. And the song Kevin's, I wrote at my friend Kevin's house, where I stayed for a month. And Leonard, I also wrote at Kevin's house.
So who is Leonard?
Leonard is actually Leonard Cohen, because I was listening to a lot of Leonard Cohen when I wrote that song. Sorry. I was listening to a lot of Leonard Cohen when I wrote that song. So I thought I'd call myself out on that, and I felt, even though I don't think this song sounds like him, I was definitely inspired by his singing on that song.
So you said you wrote 2 songs at your friend's Kevin's house.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have your own room there, or did you sleep on the couch?
Oh, he wasn't there, but he has a studio apartment, and I sublet his house while he was home for the holidays with his girlfriend. And it was cool because it was a block away from where Patti Smith first met Robert Mapplethorpe. And so I was reading Just Kids. It was in December, over Christmas and New Year's. And I was there for about 3 weeks in the snow. And I just was snowed into this apartment for like a week probably and wrote those 2 songs.